Okay, so you've given us like a ton of material. It was really fascinating stuff. Cutting edge, right? We're talking AI, 5G, the kind of tech that can change things really fast.
Yeah, absolutely. This is really the bleeding edge. And that's kind of the mission here, right? To like get to the core of what your sources are saying. We're talking AI, 5G, blockchain, quantum computing, VR and AR, wearables, IoT, cybersecurity, autonomous vehicles, all that, even green tech.
So this deep dive is about more than just like the buzzwords. We want to know what's actually important right now
Exactly. It's about separating hype from reality.
because it's not just theory anymore, right? This stuff is already affecting us whether we're like tech experts or just living our lives.
I mean, think about it.
Yeah. So let's just dive right in. Let's start with AI because it seems like it's everywhere.
It really is, and your sources make that super clear. Look at healthcare, for example. AI is analyzing data faster, sure, but it's also getting to the point where it can spot things in medical images that humans might miss. That means earlier diagnoses, potentially way better outcomes for patients.
That's not just like a small improvement. That's a whole different ball game.
It really is.
And it's happening in finance too, right?
Right.
Not just catching a credit card thief.
Exactly. Now it's analyzing market trends, finding these tiny little anomalies that could signal huge risks or really complex fraud, things that human analysts would probably miss.
Wow.
It's about connecting the dots, predicting what's going to happen on a scale we've never seen before.
It's mind-blowing. And then there's education. AI is changing how we learn too.
Absolutely.
It's more than just those quizzes that adapt to how you're doing. It's about tailoring the entire learning experience to each student in real time,
Right, based on their individual learning style and pace.
which could mean way more effective learning for everyone.
Potentially. And then in entertainment, those recommendation engines are getting crazy good at knowing what we like.
I know, it's scary sometimes.
Yeah. But what's really interesting is how fast generative AI and machine learning are developing.
Okay, explain that.
They're not just following rules that someone programmed, they're actually learning from huge amounts of data. They can create new content, figure out complex relationships, and even automate really complex tasks, the kind of things that used to require, human creativity and problem solving.
That's a little unnerving. I mean, it makes you wonder what happens next. How will this kind of automation change our jobs? How will it change how we live our lives? It's not just robots on assembly lines anymore.
Right. Now it's about AI taking on cognitive tasks. So yeah, we need to really think about the future of work and how humans and AI can, I guess, coexist.
Coexist, yeah.
And this isn't some far-off future thing either. We're already using AI every day. Think about Siri or Alexa. They use AI to understand what we're saying and give us answers. And those personalized recommendations we were just talking about, that's AI behind the scenes curating our experience.
Yeah. So it's
them.
here, and it's only going to get bigger.
Definitely more integrated, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, well, let's talk about the infrastructure that makes a lot of this possible, 5G. So for people who aren't like tech experts, what's the big deal about 5G? How is it better than what we had before?
The main thing is that it can handle way more data, way faster, and with almost no lag. You know how sometimes when you're on a video call, there's that delay?
Uh-huh.
That's latency. 5G pretty much eliminates that. So things happen in real time, like instantly.
Okay.
It's a huge difference.
So it's not just about like downloading movies faster. How does that super low latency actually affect us?
Well, I mean, think about it. Downloading huge files in seconds, streaming in HD with no buffering, just a way better internet connection, especially in crowded places where the old networks would just get bogged down.
Yeah,
And it goes beyond just personal use, too.
right.
Your sources mention some pretty amazing possibilities in different industries.
Like what?
Well, in healthcare, that almost zero lag with 5G could make remote surgery a reality. Yeah, a surgeon could control a robotic arm, even perform an entire surgery from miles away, just as precisely as if they were right there in the operating room.
That's incredible.
And for gaming, it opens up true cloud gaming, where all the processing happens on these powerful servers. You could play any game, no matter how demanding, on any device, as long as you have a 5G connection.
That's wild.
And then, even bigger picture, 5G is essential for building smart cities. Imagine sensors, autonomous vehicles, all the city's infrastructure talking to each other in real time.
So much more efficient urban management.
Exactly.
Okay, so from faster streaming to remote surgery, the implications are huge.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about another technology that's been getting a lot of attention, blockchain
Yeah.
and cryptocurrencies, of course.
True.
Now, blockchain can be kind of hard to wrap your head around. What is it at its core? What's the main idea?
So at its simplest, it's a digital record of transactions, a ledger, but it's secure, transparent, and decentralized. Instead of having one central database, it's spread across a bunch of computers.
Mm-hmm.
Every new batch of verified transactions creates a block, which is linked to the previous block using cryptography. That creates a chain that's basically tamper-proof.
So it's that distributed, secure nature that makes it so revolutionary.
Exactly. Because it's decentralized, no single person or organization controls it, and that makes it more secure, more trustworthy.
Interesting. And how does this lead to things like NFTs?
NFTs. They use blockchain to represent something unique in the digital world.
So like owning a one-of-a-kind piece of digital art.
Right.
Or like a special item in a video game.
Precisely. NFTs are changing how we think about owning things digitally, whether it's art, music, or even stuff in games.
So you have proof that you own this specific digital thing.
Yeah,
And that proof is recorded on the blockchain permanently.
that's right.
It's a whole new way of thinking about value and scarcity in the digital world.
It is.
Okay. Now, cryptocurrencies. Alongside blockchain, we have things like Bitcoin and Ethereum. What's happening with them? Are they becoming more mainstream?
They are. We're seeing more institutional investors getting involved, and even some governments are launching their own digital currencies.
Wow.
But, and your sources point this out too, there are some challenges.
Yep.
Regulations are still being figured out, security needs to keep improving, and the value of cryptocurrencies can be really volatile.
So there's still a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah, it's a bit of a wild west, but it's definitely evolving.
Okay, so from the digital world of blockchain and crypto, let's move into something completely different. Quantum computing. So this is like a whole new level of computing power, right?
Yeah.
What makes quantum computers different from the computers we use every day?
It's all about how they process information. Regular computers use bits, which can be either a 0 or a 1. Quantum computers use qubits, which can be both 0 and 1 at the same time.
Huh. How is that even possible?
Well, it's because of quantum mechanics. It's pretty complex. But this means that quantum computers can do some calculations way, way faster than regular computers. Like problems that would take a normal computer billions of years, a quantum computer could potentially solve in minutes or hours.
Billions of years versus hours? That's a crazy difference. What kind of things could this kind of computing power help us do?
Your sources talk about some pretty amazing potential breakthroughs. In medicine, for example, quantum computing could totally revolutionize drug discovery by simulating how molecules interact at a level of detail that's just not possible now.
Wow.
In logistics, it could help optimize incredibly complex supply chains, making them super efficient. Climate modeling could get way more accurate so we can make better predictions and plan more effectively. And in cybersecurity, it's a double-edged sword. It could break a lot of the encryption we use today,
Oh.
but it could also lead to new ultra-secure encryption methods. So even though it's still pretty early days, quantum computing has the potential to change a lot of things that really matter.
That's exciting and a little scary at the same time.
It is.
Okay, so let's move on to something a bit more visual. Virtual reality and augmented reality. Can you explain the difference between the two?
Sure. Virtual reality, or VR, is about creating these completely immersive digital worlds. You wear a headset, and it basically blocks out the real world.
Right.
You're transported into this computer-generated environment where you can move around, interact with things. It tracks your movement so it feels like you're really there.
Okay.
Augmented reality, or AR, is different. It takes the real world and adds digital elements to it.
So like through your phone's camera.
Exactly. Or through special glasses. You might see digital information layered over what you're actually looking at, or maybe virtual objects that look like they're in the real world.
So VR is like stepping into a different world,
Yeah.
and AR is bringing digital things into our world.
That's a good way to put it.
Where are these technologies being used most right now?
VR has made big strides in gaming and entertainment.
Yeah, I could see that.
But AR is really starting to take off in more practical areas, especially in business.
Give us some examples. How is AR being used in the real world?
Well, in retail, you can use AR to try on clothes virtually. You can see how they look on you without actually having to go to the store.
Oh, that's cool.
In education, AR can create interactive learning experiences. Imagine diagrams or 3D models that pop up over your textbook.
Wow.
And even surgeons are using AR to see important patient data right in their field of vision during surgery.
So AR is moving beyond just fun and games.
It definitely is.
Okay, let's talk about wearable tech. We all know about smartwatches and fitness trackers now, but What's next? What's coming down the pipeline?
Yeah, smartwatches and fitness trackers have become really popular.
Right.
They're great for tracking our health, how active we are, how well we sleep, all that. But the future of wearables is going to be way more integrated. Imagine augmented reality glasses that seamlessly blend digital info with what you're seeing in real life. Yeah.
That could mean we don't even need smartphones anymore.
Whoa.
And then there's smart contact lenses.
Contact lenses?
Yeah, they could project information right onto your retina.
That sounds like science fiction.
It does, but it's getting closer to reality.
Okay, well, all these devices are becoming more connected through the Internet of Things, or IoT, as everyone calls it. What's the basic idea behind IoT?
The main thing is that it's about connecting everyday objects to the internet. We're talking devices, appliances, cars, anything, really.
Okay.
They have sensors, software, and a way to connect to the internet. So they can collect data and talk to each other without us having to do anything.
So they're like smart objects.
Exactly. They can
Okay.
communicate and share information.
And we're already seeing this in our homes, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like what are some examples?
Well, think about smart thermostats that learn your preferences and adjust the temperature automatically, or smart lights you can control with your voice or from your phone.
There are security cameras that send you alerts, doorbells with video, even refrigerators that can order groceries for you.
I've heard about those.
It's all part of this growing network of connected things in our homes.
So it's not just about making our lives more convenient, it's changing whole industries too, right?
Absolutely.
Tell me more.
Well, like in manufacturing, IoT is leading to the development of smart factories. All the machines are connected and can talk to each other.
Okay.
So they can optimize production, predict when maintenance is needed, and just make everything run more smoothly. In agriculture, there's precision farming. Sensors in the fields can monitor things like soil conditions, weather, and crop health in real time.
Interesting.
That means farmers can use resources more effectively and get higher yields.
That's cool.
And in transportation and logistics, connected vehicles and tracking systems are making supply chains more transparent and efficient.
So IoT is creating this massive web of interconnected devices that are constantly generating and sharing data. It's changing everything from how we live to how businesses operate. But with all this connectivity comes a big concern. Cybersecurity. Why is it such a big deal right now?
Well, the more connected we are, the more vulnerable we become to attacks. And these attacks are getting more and more sophisticated. They target individuals, businesses, even critical infrastructure. So yeah, protecting data and making sure our systems are secure is super important.
It seems like every week there's a news story about a big data breach or cyber attack. What's being done to stay ahead of these threats? How is cybersecurity evolving?
Your sources talk about a few key trends. Biometric security is becoming more common.
Okay.
That's where you use your unique biological traits, like your fingerprint or your face, to prove who you are.
Right.
Then there's AI-powered security systems that can detect and respond to threats in real time. And some people are looking at using blockchain for more secure data storage and management.
So it's like an arms race, with both the attackers and the defenders constantly innovating.
Exactly. It's a constant back and forth.
Okay. Let's switch gears again and talk about something that could revolutionize transportation. Autonomous vehicles. Self-driving cars have been in the news for a while.
Yeah.
What's the latest? How close are we to actually having them on the roads?
We've made some pretty amazing progress. Companies like Tesla and Waymo are testing and even deploying self-driving cars in some places.
Okay.
The technology is getting much better at perceiving the environment, making decisions, and controlling the vehicle.
But we're not all going to be riding around in self-driving cars next year, are we? What are the big challenges that still need to be addressed?
Right. Your sources are right to point out that there are still some hurdles.
Yeah.
Regulations for self-driving cars are still being developed, and they're different everywhere you go.
Right.
And technologically, while the AI and sensors are advanced, it's really hard to guarantee that they'll be 100% safe and reliable in every situation, especially in bad weather or if something unexpected happens. And then there's the whole issue of public trust. People need to feel comfortable getting into a car that drives itself.
So there's still a lot of work to do.
Yeah, but the progress is definitely there.
Okay, well, assuming we do overcome those challenges, what kind of impact could self-driving cars have on our lives?
It could be really transformative. We could see way less traffic congestion and fewer accidents because human error is a big factor in most crashes.
That makes sense.
And it could change how our cities are designed. We might not need as much parking space, and new types of transportation services could emerge.
It's a future full of possibilities, but also some big changes we need to adapt to.
Definitely.
Okay, finally, let's talk about how technology can help us tackle the environmental challenges we face. What are some of the key innovations in green tech?
Your sources highlight some important areas. Renewable energy technologies like solar and wind power are getting better and cheaper all the time.
Yeah.
More people are switching to electric vehicles, which helps reduce emissions from transportation. And there are lots of innovations in energy efficiency across all sorts of industries.
Right.
That's about using less energy overall.
So it's not just about producing cleaner energy, it's also about managing our energy smarter. And that's where smart grids come in. So
Exactly.
tell me more about those.
Smart grids use advanced communication and control systems to make sure electricity is distributed and used more efficiently.
Okay.
They help reduce waste and make it easier to integrate things like solar and wind power into the grid.
So it's a more dynamic and responsive system.
Right.
Well, it's definitely encouraging to see how technology is being used to create a more sustainable future. We've covered so much in this deep dive, all these different technologies that are changing our world in incredible ways.
It's a truly amazing time to be following all of this. Your sources really capture the scope of what's happening.
So, I mean, it's almost overwhelming, but it's also really exciting. Thinking about AI getting smarter, everything becoming more connected, self-driving cars, changing how we get around. What do you think? What kind of crazy new stuff do you think we'll see in the next 10 years? Stuff we haven't even thought of yet,
I mean, who knows?
right? But it's fun to speculate. And I think it's important for everyone to be aware of all this, to think about how it might affect their lives.
Definitely.
This deep dive is really just the beginning. There's so much more to explore.
There really is. It feels like the future's happening faster and faster.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive. It's been fascinating.
It really has.
And for everyone listening, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep thinking about what's next. We'll see you next time.
See you then.